If you're over 60, please, I am begging you, stop what you're doing and listen closely. You've spent a lifetime trying to eat right, choosing fruits over processed snacks, avoiding fried food, cutting back on sugar. You've done what you thought was healthy. But what if I told you that some of the most common fruits sitting in your kitchen right now, fruits you believe are protecting your heart, may actually be slowly destroying it? This isn't fear-mongering, it's medical reality. As we age, our bodies change. What once helped your heart at 40 could now be sabotaging it at 70. These changes are subtle, silent, and deadly, and most seniors never see them coming until it's too late. As a heart doctor who spent over 30 years treating older adults, I've watched this happen too many times. Patients with good intentions harmed by hidden truths no one warned them about. So, in this video, I'm going to walk you through 9 fruits that may be quietly damaging your heart and show you what to eat instead. Please, for your health, your independence, and your future, stay with me. This may be the most important video you watch this year. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. 1. Grapefruit, the silent disruptor in your liver. Grapefruit. If you're over 60 and trying to protect your heart, grapefruit might seem like a harmless friend. Refreshing, tangy, packed with vitamin C. For decades, many seniors have reached for grapefruit in the morning, believing it's a clean, heart-healthy start to the day. But what if I told you that this seemingly innocent fruit could quietly interfere with your medications, turning your breakfast into a biochemical battleground inside your body? Let me be clear, grapefruit is not dangerous for everyone. But if you take medications for your heart, especially statins, calcium channel blockers, or antiarrhythmics, this fruit can disrupt how your liver processes those drugs, sometimes leading to toxic levels in your bloodstream. Here's what's happening inside. Grapefruit contains compounds called fear-mongering. These compounds inhibit an enzyme in your liver known as CYP3A4, a major pathway your body uses to break down and eliminate medications. When this enzyme is blocked, the medicine builds up in your body rather than being metabolized properly. It's like your system is trying to drain water through a clogged pipe. The pressure rises, and so does the risk. Now imagine this: 1 glass of grapefruit juice in the morning while you're also taking your spastatin for cholesterol or your amlodipine for high blood pressure. Over time, the drug accumulates. You may not feel anything at first, but quietly, silently, your blood pressure could drop too low. Your heartbeat may become erratic, or your muscles may begin to ache and weaken from statin toxicity. You won't even suspect it's the fruit that's doing it. I'll never forget my patient, Mr. Gerald, a 74-year-old retired railroad engineer from Indiana. Gerald had done everything right since his bypass surgery. He walked every morning, took his medications religiously, and swore off red meat. But he was still experiencing dizzy spells, fatigue, and muscle cramping. When I reviewed his chart, nothing added up until I asked about his breakfast routine. With a proud smile, he said, "Doc, every morning since my heart attack, I start the day with a glass of fresh grapefruit juice. It's my cleanse." That cleanse was actually clogging his liver's ability to process medications. His statin levels were more than double what they should have been. His blood pressure medications were lingering too long. Gerald wasn't being careless. He was doing what he thought was healthy. But his good intention nearly cost him another trip to the hospital. Once we removed the grapefruit, adjusted his meds, and monitored his blood levels, his symptoms disappeared. He later told me, "I had no idea that something so small could mess me up that badly. I thought grapefruit was good for the heart, and it can be for some, but not if you're on heart medications." If you're over 60 and taking any prescription drugs for your heart, blood pressure, or cholesterol, you need to talk to your doctor or pharmacist about grapefruit. Don't assume it's safe just because it's natural. Nature can be powerful, and power, when unchecked, can be dangerous. This isn't about blaming the fruit. This is about giving your aging body the respect it deserves. After 60, your metabolism changes, your liver slows, the margin for error shrinks. That means even small choices like a single glass of juice can carry life-threatening consequences. Grapefruit doesn't come with a warning label, but maybe it should. Now, you may be wondering, if grapefruit of all things can sabotage my medications, What else am I eating that might be just as dangerous or even worse? Let me take you into the next fruit, one that's sweet, familiar, and comforting, but maybe flooding your body with something even more threatening to your heart than grapefruit ever could. You might be peeling it every morning without realizing the silent storm it's causing inside you. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're with me. Now, let's move on to point number 2, bananas. 2. Bananas. When too much potassium becomes a danger. If you're over 60, chances are someone's told you that bananas are good for your heart. They're easy to digest, packed with potassium, and carry that comforting feeling of home. After all, what could be safer than a soft, natural fruit that's been on American breakfast tables for generations? But here's what most seniors don't realize. As your kidneys age, the same potassium that once protected your heart can quietly push it into danger, especially if you're already on medications that affect potassium balance, like ACE inhibitors, ARBs, or potassium-sparing diuretics. Your body after 60 is not the same as it was at 40. Your kidneys don't clear minerals as efficiently. Your heart isn't as resilient to sudden shifts in electrolyte levels. When potassium builds up in your bloodstream, it doesn't make you feel sick, at least not right away. But deep inside, it can disrupt the electrical signals that keep your heart beating in rhythm. One minute you're feeling fine, the next you're dizzy, weak, or lying in the ER with an irregular heartbeat, not knowing that the 3 bananas you've been eating every morning for your blood pressure are part of what brought you there. I'll never forget Mrs. Connie Harper, a sweet 76-year-old widow from Ohio. She came to my clinic after an episode that scared her to her core, a finding spell at the grocery store. She'd felt her heart skip and flutter before, but this time was different. Her vision blurred, her legs gave out. By the time the paramedics arrived, her heart was in ventricular arrhythmia, a life-threatening rhythm disturbance. When I sat with her days later, her voice was soft but anxious. "I don't understand, doctor. I don't eat junk. I walk every morning. I don't touch salt. I take my Lysinil every day just like I'm told. The only treat I allow myself is my bananas. 3 a day, every day for years." What Connie didn't know, and what too many seniors don't, is that bananas, while healthy in moderation, are one of the highest potassium-rich fruits. Each medium banana contains roughly 400 to 450 milligrams of potassium. That's fine for a young, healthy person. But Connie's medication was already increasing her potassium levels. Her aging kidneys couldn't clear the excess fast enough. The result? A silent buildup that finally tipped her heart into chaos. Her lab test confirmed it. Hyperkalemia, high potassium in the blood. And it didn't come from supplements or junk food. It came from her healthy habit. We adjusted her medications, limited her banana intake to once or twice a week, not daily, and made sure her blood potassium levels were monitored regularly. She's doing better now, but what shook her most was how little warning she had. "I thought I was doing everything right," she said. And she was, with the information she had. This is not about blaming bananas. This is about understanding that even nature's best gifts must be handled differently as we age. Your heart is more sensitive now. Your kidneys more fragile. What once gave you strength can now overwhelm your system slowly, quietly, and without pain. Potassium is essential, but in balance. And for seniors, balance isn't just about the numbers. It's about staying aware, staying informed, and not assuming that something is safe just because it's natural. If you're on heart medications, if you've had kidney trouble, or if you've noticed unusual fatigue, muscle weakness, or skipped heartbeats, don't dismiss it. Get your potassium levels checked. Talk to your doctor about your diet. And most importantly, don't fall into the trap of thinking if a little is good, more must be better. That logic does not apply after 60. Because even the most innocent habits, a banana with breakfast, can bring your heart closer to the edge. Now, if bananas can do that, what about a fruit that's even sweeter? One that spikes your blood sugar, confuses your metabolism, and feeds inflammation in your arteries. What if that fruit comes with a tropical glow but leaves your heart quietly struggling to keep up? Let me tell you about it next. You might be eating it for dessert tonight. 3. Mangoes. The sweet spike that mangoes confuses your heart. There's something irresistible about a ripe mango. Its golden flesh, its tropical scent, the way it melts on the tongue. It feels like summer, like youth, like comfort. For many older adults, a slice of mango is more than a treat. It's a taste of memory. But what if that very sweetness, that innocent indulgence, was silently overwhelming your heart? For seniors, especially those with diabetes, prediabetes, or heart conditions, mangoes can quietly create a cascade of reactions. Ones that confuse your metabolism, spike your blood sugar, and inflame your blood vessels without you even knowing. The truth is, while mangoes contain fiber and antioxidants, they also carry a very high glycemic load, meaning they can quickly raise blood glucose levels, especially in older adults whose insulin response is already weakened. After the age of 60, your body processes sugar differently. The pancreas slows down, insulin sensitivity drops. Your cells no longer take in sugar the way they once did, and the excess doesn't just float harmlessly in the bloodstream. It clings to the lining of your arteries. It feeds inflammation. It stiffens vessel walls over time. This chronic inflammation becomes the hidden foundation of heart disease. But that's not all. A sudden spike in blood sugar can also trigger a spike in blood pressure. Because sugar doesn't just affect your metabolism. It disrupts the delicate balance of hormones that regulate blood flow, fluid retention, and heart rhythm. It's a domino effect. And for many older Americans, it starts with just one fruit they thought was healthy. I'll never forget Mr. Donald Mays, a 69-year-old Vietnam veteran from Florida who came to my clinic complaining of chest tightness and overwhelming fatigue. His medical history was clean. No smoking, no fried food, daily walks. He had even lost 15 pounds the past year, but his blood pressure readings were erratic, and his A1C, a marker of long-term blood sugar, had quietly crept into the diabetic range. What struck me most was how puzzled he was. "I've given up soda, I don't eat sweets anymore," he told me. "I snack on fruit now. Mangoes mostly, sometimes dried, sometimes fresh. Feels good, feels clean." But when I asked him how often, his answer startled me. "Every day, doc. 2 mangoes. If they're small, they help with cravings." We ran the numbers. One average mango contains over 45 grams of sugar, more than a can of Coke. Dried mango? Even worse. No fiber, no water, just concentrated fructose that absorbs straight into the bloodstream. Mr. Maya had unknowingly replaced one danger with another, and his heart was paying the price. His case wasn't unique. In fact, many seniors try to eat clean by replacing processed sweets with tropical fruits, not realizing these fruits can still wreak havoc on blood sugar and blood pressure regulation. After we cut back his mango intake and built a safer fruit plan with more berries and lower glycemic options, his energy returned and his heart symptoms faded. He told me later, "I never thought fruit could act like sugar, but I guess sugar, no matter how pretty it looks." And he was right, because the human body doesn't care whether the sugar came from candy or a mango. It just knows it's overloaded. And the heart, fragile with age, is the first to suffer. If you've ever felt that post-meal fatigue, that heavy, slow heartbeat, or unexplained swelling in your feet or hands, look closely at the fruit on your plate. Not all fruit is friendly. Mangoes might feel wholesome, but for many hearts over 60, they're a metabolic trap. Sweet on the tongue, but stressful on the arteries. Now, if a single mango can do that, what happens when you bite into something even larger, juicier, and more water-heavy? What if it floods your body with not just sugar, but potassium and fluid, forcing your heart to work overtime just to keep up? Let me take you there next. It's red, refreshing, and hiding behind picnic smiles all across America. But your heart might be gasping for help every time you eat it. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. Now, let's keep going with point number 4. 4. Watermelon. The red watermelon flood that overwhelms the aging heart. There's something timeless about watermelon. It's the fruit of summer picnics, childhood laughter, 4th of July memories, and backyard barbecues. Cold slice on a warm day feels innocent, hydrating, refreshing, and light. That's why so many seniors reach for it, believing it's one of the safest, heart-friendly fruits they can enjoy. But few people talk about what watermelon actually does to the aging body, and that silence. It can be dangerous, especially after 60. What many seniors don't realize is that watermelon is not just water and sweetness. It's a triple threat when consumed in excess. Loaded with natural sugars, packed with potassium, and capable of shifting the body's fluid balance so rapidly that your heart and kidneys can't keep up. Let me explain. As we age, our kidneys naturally decline in function. That's part of normal aging. They don't filter waste or manage electrolytes like they used to. Now add medications like ACE inhibitors, diuretics, or beta blockers, which are commonly prescribed for blood pressure and heart failure. These meds can either raise potassium or make the body more sensitive to fluid changes. So when a large amount of watermelon enters the system, often 2 or 3 cups in a single sitting, you've just sent your cardiovascular system into a tailspin. I'll never forget Mrs. Leah Cartwright, a vibrant 81-year-old former librarian from Kansas, who came to see me late one summer with swollen ankles, shortness of breath, and what she described as a heart that feels too heavy. She hadn't changed her medications. She wasn't eating processed foods or salty snacks. But when I asked about recent habits, her eyes lit up with pride. "Oh, doctor, I've been replacing dessert with watermelon. Big bowls of it, morning and night. It's been so hot lately. Better than ice cream, right?" Yes, better than ice cream, but not better than moderation. Her blood work showed a borderline high potassium level. Her blood pressure, normally controlled, was running low. Her heart was struggling to maintain rhythm during physical exertion. The cause? Too much watermelon combined with reduced kidney clearance and heart medications that couldn't adjust fast enough. It wasn't a sudden failure. It was a slow, steady flood her body couldn't process. Here's the truth. 1 cup of watermelon contains over 170 mils of potassium and more than 9 grams of sugar. That may seem harmless, but seniors often eat multiple cups, especially when trying to hydrate during warm weather. The problem is, this overload of water and electrolytes dilutes sodium in the blood and raises the strain on the heart, which has to pump through the extra volume. The result? Shortness of breath, low energy, swelling, and in more serious cases, fluid backing into the lungs or triggering congestive heart failure episodes. And all from a fruit no one warned you about. Mrs. Cartwright had no idea. She thought she was doing the right thing. But when you're over 60, even healthy food can hurt you if you're not matching it to your current health status. We helped her reduce her watermelon intake to 1 small cup per day, paired with better hydration and regular potassium checks. She recovered well, but I'll never forget what she told me afterward. "I always thought the danger was in salty chips or sugary desserts. I didn't think something so natural could knock me off balance like that." Watermelon isn't the enemy, but your heart is not the same heart it was 20 years ago. And when your kidneys are slower, when your medications are finely tuned, and when the balance inside your body is more fragile than ever, even something wholesome can become harmful. So next time you reach for that second or third helping, pause. Ask yourself, is my heart ready for this much fluid? Is my body ready for this much sugar and potassium all at once? Because sometimes the foods that feel the most innocent are the ones that catch us off guard. And if watermelon, the symbol of health and hydration, can quietly overload your heart, then what about a fruit that's even more deceptive? Small, sweet, and packed with natural goodness, but dried, sticky, and concentrated with sugar that attacks your arteries like syrup. Let me tell you about it next. It might be hiding in your pantry right now. 5. Dried fruits. Nature's candy with a hidden cost. Dried fruits. To many older Americans, dried fruits feel like a smart, wholesome snack. A handful of raisins instead of cookies. A few dried apricots after dinner instead of pie. They're small, natural, and easy to chew. For seniors trying to avoid junk food, dried fruit seems like the perfect middle ground. Comforting, yet health conscious. But here's the dangerous truth no one tells you. Dried fruit is nature's candy. Concentrated, sticky, and capable of silently damaging your heart. When a fruit is dried, nearly all of the water is removed. What's left behind? A compact, calorie-dense, sugar-loaded piece of food that enters your bloodstream faster than you can imagine. Without the water and fiber to slow absorption, that natural sugar hits your system hard, spiking blood sugar, inflaming blood vessels, and flooding your heart with signals it can't always handle after 60. For seniors, especially those with diabetes, prediabetes, high blood pressure, or heart disease, these spikes can be dangerous. They don't just raise blood sugar. They lead to increased triglyceride levels, arterial stiffness, and insulin resistance, all of which contribute to a condition known as metabolic syndrome, a ticking time bomb for heart attacks and strokes. I remember one patient in particular, Mr. Samuel Reed, a 72-year-old retired postal worker from Illinois. A gentle, quiet man who came into my clinic after his second minor stroke in less than a year. He had no history of smoking, had lost weight, and was diligent about taking his medications. He thought he was doing everything right, but his blood test showed elevated triglycerides and a fasting blood sugar well into the diabetic range. When I asked him about his diet, he proudly replied, "No junk food, doc. I don't eat cake or candy anymore. I just snack on fruit. Raisins, prunes, dates. I keep them in a little tin in my truck." What he didn't realize is that a 4 cup of raisins contains nearly 30 grams of sugar, almost as much as a candy bar, a few dried figs or dates even more. These foods, though natural, are hyper-concentrated sources of fructose, and when eaten regularly, they can push your blood